Hello and welcome to a new video. As the title of this video suggests, this is my ultimate Alaska pack with me video, and I say it's the ultimate pack with me because we are doing a cruise in Alaska and a land tour in Alaska, and so we are covering both bases. Stick around as I show you exactly what I'm taking on our 2-week trip to Alaska in Canada in August and September of 2025. If you are new here, my name is Emily. I make cruise and travel videos. I am from the UK, and my mum and I are going on a 2-week trip to Canada and Alaska in a week's time. We leave in 1 week and I am so very excited. This trip has been 2 years in the planning. If you haven't already, I have a whole trip announcement video already on the channel, so go and check that out. That's giving you every single bit of information you need about what we are doing on our trip and where we're staying, what we're doing, where we're going, all those bits and pieces, so definitely check that out. But today it is packing day, and this is a slightly different pack for us because normally it's just we take a suitcase and that's it, and everything goes together. But because we are doing a cruise tour with Princess Cruises, that involves us doing the cruise and land. We're actually doing land first then cruise. Then we have to pack slightly differently because we do have the option to send a bag on board the ship, so that when we get to our first stop, which is Fairbanks in Alaska, when we get there we can offload one suitcase and send that onto the ship, and that will then meet us in Whittier when we get on board Sapphire Princess at the end of our land portion of the trip. So packing wise, we're going to be talking what we're taking on the land portion and what we're taking on the cruise portion. Now, a lot of what we're taking on land we will be using on the cruise, but there are some items that we have no intention of using at any point until we get on board the ship, and there's really no point of taking that between Fairbanks, Denali, Mount McKinley Lodge, then onto the ship. It's far easier just to send it onto the ship. I will be doing a complete Princess Cruise Tour information video once we've done the trip, so I will talk into detail about the luggage options and the different places and the lodges and all that kind of thing, and there will be videos of all the different lodges and that, and I will explain the processes during the vlogs. But for now, from the information I've gathered on Princess's website, and they do have quite a good information document that I will link in the description, for now I'm just going to set out what I'm packing for the land, what we're packing for the cruise, and then I'll do hand luggage separately that we'll be keeping with us throughout the trip. We are flying with British Airways to Vancouver in premium economy, so we do have the luxury of having 2 included checked bags plus our hand luggage. When we fly from Vancouver to Fairbanks, we are flying with Alaska Airlines, and we have to pay for any checked baggage. You do get a personal item and a cabin case, but you do pay for your checked bags. But if we take an oversized bag, it is a lot of money. We're hopefully going to take 3 cases between the 2 of us, so sort of 1.5 each. That is what I'm really planning on doing. That's what I'd really like to do. We will ultimately see whether we can do it or not, or whether we do need to take 2 each. So the plan is 1.5 suitcases each. So we'll share a suitcase and then have 1 each. So I'm going to do most of the packing here at home, but for the part where we're actually packing the cruise case, we will be jumping to my mum and dad's house, and we will be packing alongside mum just to make sure we can fit everything into that 1 case between us for the cruise items. But first of all, I think what we'll do is we'll go through the land items first, show you everything I'm taking for the land portion of the trip. As I said, we'll go into the cruise as well, but it's just going in the land case because we will need it on land. I'll show you that, I'll show you a hand luggage, I'll show you what I'm taking for the cruise in terms of the extra bits and pieces that we have specifically for the cruise, and then we will pack everything. So let's get into land first. What I will say is I am using a packing list. I am a type A person. I'm all about a packing list. So I have made one up on Notion, and it's also got like the schedule of everything, but it's just got sort of the packing list, and then I can expand it and then tick everything off, which is just the most satisfying thing. So I have got it into sections. So I've got land case, cruise case, hand luggage, and then like all the various pouches we're taking, so like toiletries, makeup, skincare, hair care, etc. So I'll go through all of that with you. So let me show you what I've got for the land portion. This is everything I plan on taking on the land portion of the trip, bar my waterproof jacket, which is hanging up, but this is everything else. So we'll start off at the bottom. We've got shoes. So I am taking a pair of trainers. I've already put my socks inside, and a pair of waterproof boots, and again the socks are inside. I do also plan on taking a pair of Birkenstocks, but I'll be wearing them, so we're not going to think about packing them. I do have coming a second pair of waterproof boots, which I think are at my mum's house, so I'll show you them when we get there. I then have everything else all lined up. So I have got outfits for whilst we're in Vancouver. So the weather for Vancouver is very similar to the UK right now. So I've got trousers and t-shirts for the Sunday and Monday we're in Vancouver. We do plan on washing on board Sapphire Princess, so I will then wear these again with maybe a different top when we get off Sapphire Princess. I've got a hat and some gloves. I have one swimming costume just in case there is any swimming involved. I always put it in these pouches, keeps it nice and secure. I also then have a pack microfiber towel. I have my backpack. This is a Kipling backpack. I've had it for years. It also has, which I bought separately from Amazon, a waterproof cover for it, so if it is tipping with rain then it won't get wet. I've got my makeup brushes and my straighteners, toiletry bag, makeup and hair, air tag that will of course go in the suitcase. We've got our first aid kit. I'm going to show you what's in the first aid kit, toiletry bag and that bag separately once I've shown you everything else. We then come over to pyjamas. These are Next pyjamas with little Highland cows on. They're so sweet, they're really comfortable. I had them for Disney, they're fabulous. I've got underwear for the trip. I've then got 5 sets of clothes, so from Tuesday through to Saturday with a spare set, and it comprises of leggings and t-shirts. That is very much my clothing thing for Alaska, leggings and t-shirts. That way I have the option to add a over jacket, so I've got a fleece and a hoodie here, so if it's chillier I can layer up with them, but if it's on the warmer side then leggings and t-shirts will be absolutely fine. And then I have a little lightweight gilet that I can just chuck on as well if it gets a bit chillier, for example on the evenings. And then, yeah, as I said, I've got a fleece and a hoodie. The cases we are using, as I said, are medium cases, so this is my trip medium case. It is expandable, which is great because if I buy some souvenirs in Alaska, which I plan to do, they can fit. This is my second medium case. It's an old trip case, but I think Mum's new one is slightly larger, so we're probably going to take that one instead. So let's show you what is in the various bags that we're taking as well. So let's go through each of the packs now. So we'll do first aid kit first. I always think it's a really good idea to take a first aid kit with you, just to have little bits and pieces, especially when you're going to a different country and you're not really sure what medication they have. I always think it's a really good idea to take some of your own bits and pieces. So this stays the same every trip and it just gets refilled or slightly tweaked depending on where we're going. I have been reading that on certain trips and that the mosquitoes are out and about, so I do have first and foremost bug spray for mosquitoes and biting insects. I am somebody that mosquitoes seem to love, and so if there's an opportunity for me to get bitten by a mosquito, it will happen. So a bug spray is an absolute must. I have a spray and I also have a little roll-on one as well, that's going to just stay in my hand luggage. I have some little earbuds. I have sturgeons, travel sickness medication. I am somebody who will take medication to prevent the occurrence of travel sickness. I am anticipating that there shouldn't be too much motion. I have done Alaska before back in 2023 and the sea state was very good, but you just never know, and I'd rather have it than not. So I do have sturgeon tablets. I also have motion sickness patches, which I swear by. I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but it makes it, I feel as if they work. I know we are going to somewhere that you can pick up medication quite easily in Canada and the US, but I also just think I don't really want to have to buy it again. Like, I've got it at home, I might as well take it. Painkillers, I have some Nurofen meltlets. I don't take tablets easily. I'm not a tablet person. I dislike them, so I have to take, you know, medicine that is not necessarily very nice. And the only exception to tablets I take are anti-sickness tablets, and I chew them, and it's not the nicest taste, but that's the only option I have because I can't swallow a tablet. We have anti-sickness bands or nausea relief bands. Again, never use them, but they're just there just in case it is a really bad sea day. Plasters! Every so often I just randomly, like, you just wake up and there's a cut. I don't even know how I get them. I also do that with bruises, but just in case I cut myself, anything like that, as long as it's a small cut, like a paper cut, things like that, because they are sore. I just take some plasters, or if you get like blisters, anything like that, then I've got some. Obviously, if you do really injure yourself, you break anything, you have a fall, then you should go to the medical centre on board, but I like to just have little bits and pieces just to cover myself. I then have a selection of sachets of Calpol 6 Plus paracetamol, because yeah, I can't take tablets, so I've got some sachets. I have some skin allergy relief cream. Every so often my skin breaks out for unknown reasons, but this relieves skin allergies and irritations, itching, stings, insect bites and hives. So if I do get bitten by any sort of bugs, then I've got that. But then specifically for the bugs, I have bite and sting cream, which takes, you know, the itch out of those awful bites. Last thing relating to bites is I do have this little yellow thing, but you just pop it on, and then it's got these two things at the top, and you sort of pop it on the sting and it sort of does something, but it takes the sting away. And then some other bits and pieces I've got some cold and flu sachets, Beecham's blackcurrant cold and flu, so if I do get a bit snivelly or anything whilst we're on the cruise and we're in a bit cooler climates, I've got some cold and flu. Some party feet if my feet get really sore, and then I've just got some Imodium as well, just in case. So that's everything in the first aid kit. As I said, I think it's a good idea to take some bits and pieces with you, just so that if there is anything, you know, you wake up with a snivel, or you wake up with a cold or anything like that, or as I said, you get a paper cut or something happens and you need a plaster. I think rather than doing that, I'd rather just have a few bits and pieces. But if there is anything serious, then you definitely should visit the medical centre, which is why it's so important to have travel insurance. Definitely always get travel insurance for your trips. Let's do toiletry bag. So my mum and I do take our own toiletry bags, but we do share various items. The sun cream, toothpaste, all that I have in my bag. That's why I have quite a full bag, and mum's is usually quite empty. Starting off at the top, I always have foot cream and hand cream. Skincare wise, I have got a cleansing balm. This is the Elemis Pro Collagen Cleansing Balm. It's a nice fresh one for taking off makeup. Oh, it smells so good. So I'll be taking that. I usually take a day cleanser as well, because I just have a preference over morning and night, but mum has the Liz Earle Hot Cloth Cleanser, which she'll be taking, so I'll just use that as my morning cleanser. I've got a Laneige lip mask, so good. This is a berry flavour, and it just keeps my lips in tip-top condition. I have got a moisturiser. Evening moisturiser, this is like the dregs of a Elemis Superfood Midnight Facial. Smells incredible, but I need to use it up, so finishing that. If I want to give my skin a bit of a boost whilst we're away, I've just got a little mini Glow Boost exfoliator from Elemis. And then I've got my toner. I usually take like a mini one, but because we're going for 2 weeks and sometimes I'll use it twice a day, I just thought I'll just take my big one with me. So I need to wash my reusable cotton pads, which I use with my toner, but they need to be washed, so I'll put the wash on later and then they'll go in. And then I've got some cleansing cloths. I'm not taking large sun creams, but I am taking some minis. So I've got, these are all Ultra Sun, so I've got the SPF 30 family, Extreme 50, and then a face one. Hand sanitizer, perfume. So I always decant my perfume and they're in these little containers. These are from the fragrance company, I think, fragrance store, and they just pop out and then you can refill. So I've just got 2 of my favourite Jo Malone fragrances in there. Vitamin D. So both Mum and I take vitamin D, and I'm pretty sure everybody should, especially us in the UK, because we do not get enough sun. So I've got vitamin D. I would normally decant it, but because we are going for 2 weeks and there's 2 of us, it covers the whole 2 weeks for both of us. A lint roller, toothpaste, as I said, that will be for Mum and myself. Same with the sun cream. I have got some anti-friction balm, so this is particularly good for shoes that rub. It just puts sort of a slickness on it so that hopefully your shoes won't rub. Razor, dental floss, nail file, little sewing kit. This goes everywhere. It's just so handy just in case you have any buttons or anything you need to be doing. And then I've got my deodorant. Last up is my makeup and hair bag. So the zip on the front, I've got makeup mirror. Then in the front compartment is all my makeup. So I've got a little flannel which I use for cleaning my makeup brushes before I use them every time. I've got a makeup sponge. I have a powder, what do you call them? Powder puff? Powder sponge? One of them. I've got mascara, bronzer and highlighter. That's Charlotte Tilbury. I've got a little mini foundation I have decanted, so I have to take my whole foundation pot with me. What's this called? Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. It's sort of a contour, cream contour. I've got my primer and my blusher. My blusher. And then I've got my face powder. I've got the setting spray. I always just decant into this. That's why it looks so disgusting and old. I have got concealer, eyeshadow sticks, brow gel, corrector, lip balm. This is the Ultra Sun one, which is just saved my lips from as soon as I used it. Another brow gel and a lipstick. If I show you, it's like got like so much organisation, like zip pockets and that, so it all keeps it all nice and organised. And then in the zip pocket I have just got some extra brushes, my brow pencil, tweezers, those little bits and pieces. And then in the back zip, this one, I've got all my hair care. So I've got my smoothing brush, hairbrush, comb and clips, dry shampoo, smoothing cream, hairspray, like the little flyaway thing, a little bag of hair bands and curvy grips, and then my hair wrap for when I wash my hair. The national park, I imagine my hair will just be up in a bun like it's today, but that helps me make it all so you don't look like a complete something. So that's that one. So that is all my land items. So I think we're just gonna pack them up and get them in the suitcase so that the land bag is done. So this is the suitcase I'm using. It's a Trip Holiday, I think it's the Holiday 8, it's the latest one in moss green. I need to take all the stickers off actually and set the TSA code. I did get the set of this. I've got the large, medium and small. It has a zip compartment there.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high.
I think just my coat, which actually, before I pack my case away, or before I pack it away, this is the jacket I am using. I've used this for a fair few years now. Can't remember whether I had it for Alaska in 2023, but I know I had it for Iceland in 2023 and Finland and Norway last year. It's a great jacket. It's from Amazon. I'll link it, but it's a fabulous waterproof jacket, so that's the one I'm taking. Whilst I'm out here, I'll just quickly show you my travel outfit. So this is the outfit I'm gonna wear on the plane to Vancouver and then home again. As I said, I'll wash it when we're on board Sapphire Princess, but it's from Lovell and it's a 1/4 zip like sweatshirt, but the zip goes all the way up. So I've got that, and then I've got a pair of cuffed joggers in the same colour with it, and I'll show you what else I'm wearing with it when we get to it. But for now, let's pack this jacket. There we go, so I've put my coat in. Now the moment of truth, will it shut? Oh my goodness, it does! It shuts. And that's not using the expander, but there is the expander for when I come home. Case weight thing is a low battery, so I need to replace it. But it did say when it was on the pounds that it was like 40 something pounds. And I'm pretty sure 23 kilos is like 50 pounds or 50 something pounds. So clearly that one is under. Well done me. So that's the land case. So I'll show you what I'm taking in the cruise case. But as I said, we're going to pack that at Mum's. Before I do that, let's show you what's in my hand luggage. Hand luggage wise, we are taking a small carry-on. This is from Bays. The idea of that is that we can then put a spare pair of clothes in, work for like Fairbanks and things like that, and for like the airport hotel. And then my personal item is this Bays tote, which I am obsessed with, guys. This is such a good tote, and I'll just show you everything I'm put inside of it, just as like a little show you around the bag, because obviously I'm obsessed. So it's got the Bays branding. It's in caramel, I think the colour is called. I'll check and I'll link it. But it's got options for holding. You've got grab handles, you've got shoulder straps, plus a another shoulder strap, so you can put it crossbody. And then at the back it's got a zipper compartment where you can put bits and pieces in, like your passport, and then it has a trolley sleeve. You can zip it up, so if you're not using it as a trolley sleeve, it's just an extra pocket, but I'll be using the trolley sleeve, so I'm just going to leave that open. And then inside, I'll empty everything out, so I'll show you everything that's in it. So first up is a Kipling bag, which is actually in a very similar tan colour. I have not been particularly enjoying the crossbody sling bags. What I find is the strap that is obviously adjustable always seems to like ride up and annoy the back of my neck. So I've just gone back to a classic crossbody. As I said, this one's by Kipling. I really do rate Kipling travel item. I've got backpacks, bags, they're fantastic and they last forever. So I thought this, especially in this colour, it was perfect for this trip and just for longevity as well. So it's got a front compartment. So in here I'm going to put hand sanitizer, wet wipes, tissues, just things I can grab easily when we're going through the airport. In this compartment I've got a pen. I've got, at the moment, my DJI camera, but I will be using that to vlog whilst we're travelling. I've got some Sony in-ear headphones. I'm an Apple girl until it comes to headphones, and then I'm a Sony headphones girl. So I've got some in-ear headphones. I've then got a little pouch which has got all my DJI camera bits and pieces in, so things like my microphone, charger, holder, those kinds of things. So that's just in a little pocket. It then has an internal zip compartment, so I'm going to put my purse in there, and then in the back, so then it's got a second back compartment which has nothing in at the moment, so probably snacks are very important, so I can put snacks in there. And then it's got a rear zip compartment which has my passport in. I've got my passport, which is from The Inspired Stories. I love this colour. I'm having tan and green phase at the moment. And then in terms of what else is in my personal item, I do have my laptop with me. I've got my Kindle. I'm still enjoying reading at the moment and I am absolutely loving my little Kindle. I don't think I had this the last time, but yeah, love my Kindle. I have my little jewellery pouch. This is from Stackers, I believe. I don't think I'm going to be taking that much jewellery in all honesty. I've just got some rings and some earrings, sunglasses. We have an Airfly. So this is a new thing I have bought, but it allows me to connect my own headphones to the entertainment system on board. As I said earlier, we are flying with British Airways, so they do obviously have an entertainment system, so it just allows me to wear my own headphones, which I find more comfy, or comfier than airline headphones they give you. I do have my over-ear headphones, which I am taking. Again, I'm a Sony girl when it comes to headphones. Look at these, I tell you. Like, the case is a bit bulky, but I don't care. They are stunning. So they're my headphones, so I'll be taking them, and they're ideal for things like editing, just blocking out the noise so I can actually hear the footage, but also again for watching programs on the entertainment system. But yeah, usually have a really good entertainment system, so I'm looking forward to seeing what shows and programs are on. I've got a portable charger. I have a water bottle. This is from Awala. It's the water bottle I take everywhere now. It does have a straw, but what I find is that even though it's designed not to, it does still, with the pressure in a plane, if you've got the straw on, it will still spit up. So what I do is, because you've got the sipper as well as the straw, I just take the straw off, and I'll take the straw with me, but whilst we're on the plane I won't use the straw. But there is a specific drink holder in this vase bag, which I love. Bottle holder. A few more bits. So I've got my little onboard pouch. So this has got a hairbrush, pens, some painkillers, things like that. Whilst we're on board, I also need to put in some tissues and some wet wipes, because you know your girl has to have them everywhere. I then have a phone tripod for photos, makes taking photos so much easier. And then I have a booklet which has every possible bit of paperwork we could need. So it's got copies of our hotel confirmation, our seat selection, our ESTAs and ETAs, our excursions, anything like that, it's got all in there. Then we have our overhead compartment or cabin case. As I said, this is from Bays. And the things that are going in this are mainly like tech things, change of clothes, for Vancouver or for travel day, that kind of thing. But what I've got in there is a spare pair of sunglasses, some Uno cards so Mum and I can play Uno. We always like to take a couple of games on trips with us, so we can play them, especially on this kind of trip where we do have a lot of like downtime, which is great. I've got a pair of compression socks for the flight. I will probably put them in my personal item instead, just so they're easy to get to, but I'll do that the morning of the flight. I've also got my t-shirt to go with my rest of my travel day outfit. This is from Adenola. It's just like a cream top but with green writing on, which works perfectly with my green Lovell tracksuit. I spent so long trying to find a really comfortable tracksuit for flying because we are doing long haul. I then need to just put my travel day outfit, because I'll be wearing something different up to the airport the night before, so my travel day outfit needs to go in here. Mum's travel day outfit will go in here as well because we'll be sharing this case, and then we've got our magnets. So this will probably go in the, I think I've just popped some bits in here, but this will go in the cruise case. But these are our magnets for our Princess cruise door. So majority of, certainly all the cruise ships I've been on, the doors are magnetic along with the walls. So you can use magnets to decorate the door. So I've just got a selection of magnets for our door. So I've got Exploring the World, one port at a time. These are all from Indigo Dinosaur. Some of them are gifted, some of them I purchased. I have a What Emily Does with my social bits on, and then we have an Alaska magnet. So the price is Alaskan Cruise 2025, Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay, Skagway, Juneau and Ketchikan. So I love that because it's like the whales and the mountains. So a huge shout out to Indigo Dinosaur and particularly Kate, because she has been phenomenal with all our magnets. So that's probably going to go in the cruise bag. So I'm going to put that over there actually. We've got a little bag of cutlery. I'm probably going to try and see if I can put it in a smaller bag. But this has reusable knives, forks, spoons and straws. So if we're out and about eating, then we've got cutlery to hand, and we can use our own straws rather than like paper straws. On our recent Disney cruise though, they had edible straws that seemed to be really popular, so that was cool. So we've got them, and we'll keep them probably when we get to when we get to Vancouver and we're out for the day, so we're going to Granville Island, to like the food market, we'll definitely take them with us. A few other bits and pieces. We have luggage tags. So we have already downloaded our luggage labels for the Princess Cruise, but I always like to put them in these clear things. So I've just got a collection of them to go on when we get to Fairbanks, just so we know where they're going. And then we have these Apple AirTag wrist straps. We got them for our 2023 Alaska cruise because Princess Cruises use a medallion rather than a cruise card, and I love the medallion. It's fantastic. You can order things to your cab, like it's amazing. I'll go through it in detail on the actual videos and the vlogs, but the medallion you get given on a lanyard, and if you're in the UK you can't have it shipped to you beforehand and you can't pick what's on it, but if you're in the US you can, and I saw some really cool ones. But we will just take the medallion off the lanyard, which I'll show you in the vlogs, and we will then just pop them on the wrist straps and then we can wear them, and it just makes it easier. Like, it's just easier than having a really long lanyard or something around your neck, and I'm not the biggest fan of a lanyard, as you may already know, so just something that I can tap. Recently on our Disney cruise we did buy magic bands for that sole reason of not having to do it, but Princess, the medallion, it unlocks, like once it knows you're like a few feet away from your door, it unlocks your cabin door for you, which I think is amazing. So they'll be coming with us. I will probably put them also in the cruise case, because we won't need that until the cruise. Another game we've got OK Play, which is like a counters game. We enjoy playing that. A mini fan for probably when we're in Vancouver, because Alaska isn't due to be that warm, but just a mini fan to keep me cool if needed. A light for photos when it's dark. I've got my toothbrush case, which will go in my toiletry bag when I put my toothbrush in. My makeup mirror, I could probably add that actually to my land case. And then very last thing is my tech bag. So in here has a selection of tech bits. So we have got USB wires to charge devices. We've got two types. We've got a green one and this one, and that just covers all bases for everything we could possibly need to charge. We don't take the individual charging cables, we just take them. And Mum has some as well. Here I have all my camera bits. So this has all my GoPro bits, the chargers, the GoPro, the batteries, all the little accessories. So that's in there. And I'd put anything with batteries in your hand luggage just in case. I've got all my memory cards. I have got the 3-in-1 charger that I rate and tell you all about every single packing time. But it charges your phone and your Apple Watch at the same time. It can also charge Apple AirPods. Mum has one too. And then final things are the travel adapters. As we're from the UK, all our plugs are for UK sockets, but in Canada and the US they do have a different plug socket style, so this just covers it. I do have two of these that have also USB connectivity, and the reason I have two is just for extra charging, using different plugs, that kind of thing. So that all goes in there. There we go, that is what's in the hand luggage. We haven't quite finished it all, but as I said, I just need to put in my clothes for travel day and Mum's clothes for travel day so I can bring them back with me. Now I'm going to just pack up all my bits that I'm taking for the cruise part. I'm going to pack them up and take them to Mum's, and I will show you them at Mum's before we pack, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can fit all our cruise bits into one case so we only have to take 3. I am at Mum and Dad's. I've been here a while. I've had lunch. We have pretty much packed. So I'm just going to show you, we've managed to do it. We've managed to get everything in the 3 medium cases. Cha-ching. So I'm just going to open up the cruise case and show you what is going to be in the cruise case. The dresses and all that, they're just my usual dresses. The case we are taking is this. This is Mum's new case. It's from Trip. It is actually a really fantastic case. It's a medium-sized case, but it is TSA lock. Also is expandable. That just needs to, so satisfying, that just needs to come off. But yes, and actually I thought we'd struggle to shut it, but we haven't. We have done it incredibly well. It's a 4-wheel case, nice and easy to move. So I'm just going to open it up and take you through what's inside. So on the top we've got flat shoes, so that's Mum's side. I won't show you too much of that, but we've got all our flat shoes for the cruise, so flip-flops. That in this side, so in this zip compartment, we have got our magnets, which I showed you earlier. We have magnets for using on the cruise rather than just the door, and then we have a couple of packets of hand warmers. Mainly these are for sort of our glacier viewing days. We do have 2 glacier viewing days. We have Hubbard Glacier and then Glacier Bay. So we'll be outside quite a lot during those days. So I just thought some hand warmers, which we've had for a while, that we took to everywhere that we go is cold and don't tend to use, but I just thought because we are in cold climates for hours, they'd be good. Then in this zip part, pretty much all my stuff.
So I've got a scarf, 2 head bands from Clementine and Mint. I've got my cord that I use for going to the pool and just around the ship during the day. I've got a spare pair or a second pair of pyjamas, and then these are just all dresses. This is Mum's dress, that's my top for my cord. That's a little neck wrap that Mum and I have one each of, again just in case we get cold on glacier viewing days. But then I've got my 6 dresses, so it is a 7-night cruise, but we're not due to get in until quite late on the Saturday, so we're not going to get changed for the Saturday night, but I've got Sunday through to Friday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dresses. So that's in there. I haven't put in a second rain jacket, and actually Mum's put her 2 rain jackets in her land case, so I think I'm going to do that just in case as well. But there we go. And then my thicker fleece that I was gonna just take on the cruise, I'm gonna swap out my grey hoodie that's in my land case for this fleece, which actually is the fleece part of my 3-in-1 black jacket. So that's it. The only other things I think I haven't spoke about, which Mum has got, which I need to put in the carry-on, is binoculars. So Mum got these for our last Alaska cruise. So she's got binoculars and then all the bits and pieces to go with it. So I'll take them home, put them in the green one. But guys, we have actually done it, and none of the cases are expanded, which means we've got room for souvenirs. Last thing, I keep forgetting to show you this. This is my handbag for on board the cruise. I got it for the summer this year. It's just from ASOS, but it's such a cute little bag. And I used it on the recent Disney cruise, and it was the perfect size for during the day or sort of evening dinner, plus having my camera in when I wasn't using it. So that's what I'm going to take. There we go, guys. That is packing done. We are packed for Alaska 2025, land and sea. I am pretty impressed with ourselves. Mum and I have managed to do what we wanted, which is to get the 2 weeks worth of clothes for land and sea into 3 medium cases. So that means I can book the cases onto National Express and we know what we're taking. So 2 of the cases, they're going to stay at Mum's. I just need to bring up my case on the day we leave. But we managed to do it. I'm so happy, I'm so proud of ourselves. And actually none of them are expanded. 2 of them are expandable, but none of them have been expanded. So that does mean that we can buy souvenirs. And if you have any questions about packing for Alaska, please let me know. Put them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. But it is only now a week until we go. I'm so excited. So I will see you all for the next video, which will be travel day. I'll see you then. Bye.